All right, and we are live. How's it going, guys? It has been quite a while. I don't really know where to start, but I really just want to have a chat, have a conversation, and just talk about all the things that have been going on. Talk about really where I'm headed in the direction of life with the podcast. Don't worry, this podcast will always continue. There may be breaks in the future. There may be times when I step back and take time to learn. There may be times when I really feel like it's not the best time to be sharing because sometimes I'm figuring things out. And I think that is a big realization that I've had lately is accepting that sometimes I don't know the next step, don't know exactly what to do next, and sometimes I hesitate to share. And I think maybe one of the things I need to start doing is sharing anyways, bringing this to you guys. And I know every single time that I stop recording, I think, oh, well, I don't have too many people listening. It won't be too big of a deal. And then I always see someone who messages me and says, oh, well, that's too bad. I've really been missing the podcast. So I want to apologize to you guys for stepping away several times. I've done this several times now, but I'm really working on making this a consistent thing that I'm doing. And what I see moving forward, what I see with this podcast is I really see this becoming something that I bring more guests onto, something that I bring more of a lifestyle focus, and also sharing insights as well, not just focusing on me just talking at the camera every single time. I do want to do that consistently. I want to aim to do that every single week and really just be chatting. And sometimes I may record more if I have more things that come up, but just really bringing a focus to that. One of the really big things that I've been doing, one of the big things is that I've been trying to figure out is how to record a podcast in a place where you have people living and there is no real quiet space. My room is, well, basically every room in this place that I'm currently at, I can always hear somebody doing something. Like, for example, right now, you can hear, I don't know if you guys will be able to pick up this audio. Hopefully you can't, but I can hear somebody playing music in the background. And it's basically just an endless thing of there's always some kind of sound. And it's pretty frustrating. It's very frustrating to try to... It's frustrating to try to understand how to put out quality content. And I think what I've really done lately is just decided that I'm going to stop trying to do everything perfectly in terms of the podcast, in terms of all my posts on Instagram. Just start sharing things. And one of the other things, there's my speaker turning off as I just was listening to a record. But one of the things that I've been trying to figure out is how do I just allow this stuff to just flow and be a part of what's going on for me. And I think the key to that is just not having this idea of perfection every podcast, every time I post something. So again, just going to add that and recommend that to you guys too, is if you're somebody who wants to start posting online, if you're somebody who wants to start doing anything really, just start trying stuff and just start kind of playing around. And what you're going to find is that, like, there's a rapper named Cal Scrubby, and he has this line that he says it's just that no one has it figured out. And when he realized that it's just do things, just try stuff, and everybody's just trying stuff, nobody really knows. So the key is just stepping into action, stepping in on the court and just trying different activities, trying different things in your life. And that's where you're going to grow. You can't continue to live your life in this kind of worry that, well, I need it to be at this level, I need it to be here. Just accepting that, do your best, and people are going to appreciate the fact that at least you did something. And I think a podcast where I screw a million things up is better than one where I just don't post and I never do anything with it. So I think you guys deserve the value that I can share, and I really enjoy having these conversations with you guys and getting the feedback. One thing I am considering is doing some live stuff, something where I know I'm having a conversation right in front of people. I think the YouTube channel getting close to about 200 subscribers kind of opens that opportunity up, and so I think it's a cool opportunity. So something else I really want to talk about and really transition into is dealing with life. That's something I've been doing a lot lately. For those who don't know, Bryn Athyn College, the school that I did go to in NCAA Division III, was a very good situation for me. Ended up getting injured 5 games in last year, and I thought things were definitely going to roll forward and be pretty good this year, like going into I guess it was about 6 or 7 months ago. I thought that things were going to roll, and then when COVID came around and then ended up shutting down the whole season, it sucked. Our team didn't get any funding to practice. We didn't get any training opportunities. So as you guys who listen to the podcast know, I built a gym in the basement of this new place. Built a gym in one of the rooms at the old place, and really just been focused on just trying to work out. Finally, I'm able to skate here, but dealing with some more little injuries, little tweaks, and getting past those. Trying to get in a consistent routine of skating 2 times a week right now, and easing my body into that. Training 3 times a week, skating 2 times a week, and then going to be doing running on those other days. And then the big thing that I've really added that I forgot to write down was yoga. I've really shifted my priorities to injury management and injury prevention. I've had a lot of injury issues over my career, and I think that is a byproduct of unlucky things. I think maybe genetically I may not have perfect responses to everything, but I also think that a lot of this comes down to the fact that I just don't manage my body very well. I need to really focus on continuing to improve my diet, continuing to improve the quality of my training, understanding my body, improving the quality of my sleep. But in addition to that, figuring out what I can do to have more mobility, flexibility, and allow my body to be able to move without running into these weird little issues and tightnesses, that might not be a word, and tightness and weaknesses. So yeah, really implementing yoga, really adding that into the mix has been really big for me. I've been feeling a lot better. It's made a big difference with a back kind of soreness that I've had for a bit, and yes, I've been able to skate and really roll. So things have been really good that way. What else we got? Developing leadership skills. I've been doing a program lately. If you guys are interested in what the program is, I can let you guys know. And also, I will be adding a lot of this stuff that I am learning into a structure for you guys. I'm going to be building a leadership program into the Identity 2.0 courses. If you guys don't know, Identity 2.0 is the membership I've built for hockey players, teaching all the things that I wish I knew. All of the different techniques, training things, how to think about training, how to think about improving your overall performance on and off the ice. And I've built these systems, these courses, and you get access to all that stuff. You get access to everything. So any younger players, any players who are around my age who want to learn from these things and also see if what you're doing is in line with what I'm doing, and maybe you can find things that you like and things you want to tweak. So give it a try. I'm really excited if you want to try it out for free. I'm always open to allowing people to do that. So let me know, and I'd be happy to share. But this leadership work, it's been really cool. It's been really cool to spend the past few months really dialing into this stuff and getting a real grip on just performance in all areas of my life. And sorry, I'm always interested to hear where this noise comes from. I swear people just like wander around and just start yelling throughout the whole house. But yeah, so yeah, leadership's been cool. I'm really realizing a big thing for me is accountability to myself, to maintain integrity, and then not beating myself up when I mess something up. When I miss a day for the podcast, I oftentimes will beat myself up, and then I don't want to post at all. I don't want to post for the whole month if I miss one. And I gotta get past that. It's just getting ridiculous that I waited so long to record this. And yeah, even just silly things like I know that you guys enjoy. I know a few people enjoy the podcast when I post it on YouTube. I don't get a ton of hits on that, but I know that it's worth posting on there, so I need to be consistent with that as well. And yeah, just understanding that I have to let go of some of these silly things I'm attached to. Let me turn on this other light for a second. I'm gonna see if this makes the lighting a little better in here. Yeah, that actually does make things a lot better. Okay, setting up an off-season plan. So this is something I want to discuss just because I like throwing different little ideas, different things that I've been thinking about at you guys. And when it comes to an off-season plan, the biggest thing that I've been really focused on, the biggest thing I've been working on is letting go of rigidity in my plans. There's a lot. It's hard for players and it's hard for people in general to. You oftentimes, it's like New Year's resolutions. You oftentimes will kind of commit to something and be like, I'm gonna find a way, I'm gonna find a way, I'm gonna find a way, and you dive all in at something and you have no idea what you're doing. But you think, yeah, well, I'm gonna figure it out. Well, what you want to do is you want to commit to a target at the end where you're trying to head and the things you're trying to improve. But you need to understand that your system needs to constantly be tweaked over time. So you want to have things, areas that you want to be working on and piecing together the puzzle. But you also have to be adaptable, especially in the off season when things change. Like for me, a big thing is I get an injury. I, like 6 weeks ago, tweak a little tiny tweak in my back, just a little discomfort, and it took 6 weeks to recover. And I had a whole plan and my strength was going up, everything was continuing smoothly, and then it just kind of puts a halt on that. So instead of being attached to a specific plan, lay out a rough concept and cover all the bases. And that's something massive we focus on with the Identity 2.0 members, is putting together all of the pieces, understanding what your identity actually is. What are the pieces that you need, the pillars? What are the bottlenecks you have that are holding you back? And understanding how all that stuff connects together. And then creating a plan and knowing that it is not a strict plan. It's very much adjusted week to week. And you have to be able to prioritize different things, different weeks. And it's a constantly moving and shifting thing. So it's massive. It's massive to understand that is what allows you to be able to have a successful off season, is knowing that sometimes you need to take a week off. Like for me, a big thing is I took several weeks off of doing all physical stuff and just started doing yoga, just started stretching and relaxing, and just let my body recover. And then when I came back, I was feeling almost better than I was before because I didn't have all these stupid little injuries and little things that just kind of build up if you never give yourself a true chance to recover. So it's just so important to not make those kind of mistakes. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about with you guys is plan, psychology, physical, skills coming in nutrition. That's what I meant to say. There we go. So what am I talking about? Well, what I wanted to share again is these ideas are all things that I think you have to consider. And like I said before, you have to understand that psychology is a major part of training. Now, what I don't want you to think is that psychology is the only part of training. And a lot of times trainers will kind of convince you that one thing is kind of the be all end all. But what I want to say, and again, like I focus on the psychology. That's where I'm centrally focused, and that's where I offer clients help. But a big thing for people is they oftentimes will neglect some areas. So again, you want to have a plan that includes the psychology, that includes understanding, breaking down presence and focus, confidence, hockey sense, and really putting those pieces together to build your identity. And then applying that identity to the physical aspects, figuring out how you want to train for your identity that you're building. If you want to be a smooth, skilled, and flowing kind of player, you're not going to want to be training to be bulky and huge. You may have a certain limit you want to hit, a certain target you want to hit with weight and size and strength, but you have to plan that out and base that on what type of player you want to be. If you want to have it a little bit of extra size and you want to be more of a hitting style power guy, then you want to train for that and prep for that and know that the physical aspects are going to be there and align with that. You want to line up your skills with that. You want to line up your nutrition with that. Because if you overeat and you're trying to maintain a certain weight, you're going to be screwing yourself over. If you overtrain and you're not able to work on your skills, then you're screwing yourself over. And you're limiting the ability you have to improve. So you have to take all those things into account. So that's my spiel. But again, I think what I realize and what I want to continue to share on this podcast again is just being more relaxed and kind of sharing just different stuff that's going on, different things that I'm just learning in a general space of my mind. And one little piece of advice that I would offer to a lot of players that are going through a lot of stress with the COVID stuff is really take a step back and just allow this time to appreciate what you do have. Like if whatever you can do, whether it's you can work out or you can run, if maybe you're limited, you don't have anything you can do in terms of hockey, you don't even have a stick, but you can run, you can do body weight workouts, you can study the game and work on things, but like allow these limitations to open up space and time to focus on other things. If you're locked in a room and you're isolated for 14 days, get into meditation, get into mental programming, learn deep visualization programming techniques, learn all these things, do things that you normally wouldn't do, because this is a perfect time. You just have extra time to do this stuff. So take advantage of what you have in front of you. And if you can take advantage of what you have, you are going to have that tool. You're going to put that tool away. You're going to have it ready to go. And then now when you come back and you have access to ice again or whatever it is you have, you can do it. You just have an extra tool, and now you work on that other stuff. So that's why it's good to treat your training kind of like seasons, where you have different times of the year you do different things, and really look at all the different aspects. And again, I have tons of videos and podcasts on the different pillars. I believe I have 15 pillars. I believe that's the number that I settled on. You can kind of break them down into different aspects. But again, those are so important, and consider all those things. It's just silly to be ignorant and ignore certain tools that you could use, because like why not? Like why not just leverage some of the tools? It's pointless to avoid them. So yeah. And I guess one other thing, it's weird, I never really think to announce and talk about my own specific hockey stuff, because I honestly got kind of scared away from it when I was first started posting on Instagram and started posting everywhere, and kind of just had to deal with kind of the the negative kind of people who wanted to make fun of and kind of chirp, and I mean the most silly way to say it is haters, but people who wanted to say that stuff, and that stuff definitely did affect me. It definitely did suck. It was weird playing in a new league when I was in the CCHL, and it was weird like most teams knowing who I was through my online stuff, and it definitely made me hesitant, and it also made me realize that like hockey's like super weird in that way. It's a really weird environment where like it's kind of weird to like step out of the comfort zone and step out of like the Sidney Crosby and Nathan McKinnon mentality, which is like just be a star, shut your mouth, and just show up to the rink. And I think like you get coined as like a showboat or something like that if you start trying to do other stuff. I think you can see a lot of the younger guys in the NHL are starting to kind of break that boundary. Like someone like Austin Matthews, for example, is really big for that. He kind of has this like off ice brand that you can kind of see is kind of skill, like smooth, like just like cool style that is starting to become a thing. And I want to continue to push into that stuff and like express what I'm into, show more areas, maybe show like different fashion stuff, show um, like social stuff, like becoming a better person, better friend. Um, and I want to expand and share and do all those things. I want to continue to share the hockey skills stuff. I think that's something I really like doing, but I oftentimes hesitate to post a lot of skill stuff just because I know if I get too into posting skill stuff, I focus on what looks the best instead of just sharing what I'm doing, because there's like the optimizing for like response. There's like optimizing for that, and then there's also like then there's optimizing for performance. And I think you kind of have to sacrifice one in order to get high on the other, unless you want to hire someone to do kind of like editing and make things look really cool. So um, I'm working on getting some people who are going to edit and help me with this stuff, help me um, work on the different elements of what I'm doing, help me clip up these videos, post smaller chunks, help me to create better content with my skill stuff, maybe have some people come out on the ice and film stuff. But um, again, it's the posting and it's the clipping and all that stuff that is just tough, and it gets more and more difficult as you start to get into a season, and you kind of all the stuff you've worked for kind of is now becomes truly the focus. So yeah, it makes me hesitant to focus too much time on that because I care a lot about my performance on the ice, and I care about my performance in different areas of life, and just trying to figure out how to prioritize this stuff is it's tough. So I want to hear your guys' feedback. If you ever want to chat and let me know, always just send me a DM or leave a comment below. Um, a DM on Instagram is probably your best bet, or on Facebook. Send me a message. But yeah, um, really just trying to turn over a new leaf here and start to really give you guys a lot of good content, a lot of good stuff to improve your life. My focus is really to provide everyone with the tools to improve their psychology, to enjoy the game more, to play better, to perform better. And I think a lot of people think that you need to pick one. You need to either perform well or enjoy it. I think that you want to have both, and you can have both, and I think they influence each other. So I'm here to take a stand for the players who want to have fun and want to be great, and I'm here to help. I'm here to share. I'm here to bring in people. If you ever have someone who you think would be a great person to bring on the podcast and would add something to the conversation, invite them, bring them here, and I'm happy to start to expand out and start to bring people in to share and become part of this stuff. I'm getting sick of acting like I know everything and getting sick of pretending like, oh, well, I'm just going to keep sharing every single week, because you guys deserve to have more input than that. And I think there's not as many podcasts that are trying to do both, to dig into the mental and the physical, and trying to piece it all together and bring you guys a system of performance. And I want this whole ecosystem, this social ecosystem that we're building here, to provide that for you guys. So if you're driving, hope you had a good drive and you've been enjoying this. If you're working out listening to this, awesome. I know I like to listen to podcasts before I go to bed, so if you guys are doing that and it's helping you fall asleep, I hope you enjoy that as well. Let me know. Let me know where you listen to this, and if you've listened to this point, I would really, really appreciate it if you guys gave me a review on either like this, because it helps me, it helps spread this stuff, if it helps optimize the reach. So like it, leave a comment and let me know what you liked and what you want to hear more of. And then in addition to that, if you leave a rating on iTunes or wherever you listen to the podcast, it really, really helps, especially if you give it 5 stars or you rate it. It shows people are listening and it helps people see, and then they jump in, they start to trust and want to listen. So it helps me out a lot if you guys are willing to do that. So I really, really appreciate it to my followers and to everybody who has supported me through everything that I'm doing. And just know, if a pause ever happens again, I'm not gone. I will be back. I will continue to share, and gonna keep figuring it out with you guys, and develop this hockey development system, build this hockey lifestyle system that we all are proud to be a part of at Identity 2.0. So thanks, guys, and hope you have an amazing rest of the week, and I will see you soon.